critical BMNR update, guys. We have been trading still in this range, of course. We haven't really been able to get out of this period of consolidation. What I think is most likely a bear flag. If we draw in a parallel channel, we connect the low here to these lows that we reached previously, and we connect it up here. This to me looks like a bear flag pattern. Now, typically these patterns do break to the downside, and it looks to me like the negative price action, minus 7% you had down on Friday, was the breaking of this bear flag. Now that is a really terrible sign, and there's something very spooky here that I'm going to show you. If we take the flagpole here, which is this level here that we were trading at previously, and we drag it all the way down here, this is essentially the flagpole. This line here can be used to predict where the price will be going after the breakdown from the bear flag. And if you look at this, we can drag it over here and look at that. Isn't that just incredible, guys? This bear flag pattern predicts price breaking all the way down to $6.7 or so, which happens to be the very bottom of the parallel channel. I almost can't believe it. It's kind of ridiculous how that works. But this is something we certainly have to be keeping in mind. Now, I would imagine if you get to here on BMNR, that could actually signal the absolute low on the stock, around $6.7. Obviously, that seems like a massive, massive drop. It would be a further 63% down from these current levels, which seems like a lot, given that crypto and BMNR have already come down massively. But keep this in mind. In my recent video, we talked about where Ethereum might be headed. It's also looking like it's playing out some kind of similar bear flag pattern, but I said it's quite likely we could end up getting all the way down to $880, maybe $900 on Ethereum at some point when Bitcoin comes down to find its cycle low, which I've also said is probably around $37,000 or so on Bitcoin. In such a case, Ethereum could drop a further 55%. Now, if we take that 55% and we look again at BMNR and how low it would have to go, this would only be a further perhaps 10% max underperformance compared to ETH. So you're basically seeing Ethereum go down, BMNR go down with it, and probably the NAV premium that is assigned to the stock, the value of the stock relative to its Ethereum holdings, that could compress a little bit, maybe 10% or so, and that would get you to this downside target of around $6.7. Now, like, it's a little bit amazing to me that you could see these prices on BMNR, because I was a buyer way back over here at like $30 for this up move here. But I feel like seeing it at those prices could be a really great opportunity, provided the company is going to continue functioning and continue accumulating ETH, and Ethereum's going to at some point go up in the future again. With that being said, we can also look at the momentum indicator, and we do have a sell signal here, a rather late one. Mostly that's just due to BMNR being quite a weird stock. You had this massive period over here with some wacky stuff going on, so we can't really take the buy and sell signals necessarily as to be too reliable, but we are in this bearish momentum trend, and it's very dangerous to fade that as long as we're trading below these moving averages. With a sell signal in addition, I could definitely see us getting down to these kind of levels, as hard as it may be to believe. If you have a big sell-off, as I've always said, on the stock market, and Bitcoin does come down even more to find its cycle low, then that could coincide with a bottom on BMNR around $6.7 or so. Maybe a little bit higher. Maybe we'll get a little bit of a fake out, or people will buy and step in at these levels. But I wouldn't imagine you'll get here immediately, of course. Don't take this trajectory as the true, most likely path of the stock. Of course, we're still going to get moves to the upside and downside. Perhaps you're going to, chop around here. Maybe we retest this particular level. That is something that I could imagine happening. Just make sure that the breakdown from the bear flag is accurate. But we'll see. Maybe this isn't even the correct bear flag to be drawing as well, if price is able to hold up well and doesn't just collapse below the level here that we set around $17. If you can hold up, then you may just continue the consolidation as well. But I would be favoring a bearish look on this stock right now, and it does fit with my general thesis on how cryptocurrency is looking, and I would expect us to get somewhere down to these levels, maybe probably not as soon as March 16th, but I suppose you never know. If there's a cataclysm in the markets, that could, in theory, happen, but it might just be a slow grind down here and eventually finding the bottom at this sort of level. Maybe it will be coming a bit later. And we can also think about this as a possibility if we redraw the parallel channel at these levels, which maybe the stock was respecting a bit more. Maybe people were front running this level, and that's where you got the bounce here. You could imagine if we went far out and we said, okay, maybe we're going to hit the bottom of the parallel channel like down here in May or something like that. Maybe you hit the $6.7 level around May. That could be a more realistic look for the stock than just immediately going down to these levels. But I thought that was a very interesting coincidence, if nothing else, and thought that would be good to show you guys. But yeah, for me, I would say probably looking at this parallel, and you're probably going to head out here to maybe, May, something like that, maybe around those times to get a low, decisive low on the stock. If we were to draw in the pattern, it may just look, something like this. You get maybe a big thing, then eventually we get down to these levels and then back off to the races. Something like this on BMNR wouldn't surprise me too much. That being said, in the crypto markets, things are often very unpredictable. We'll see how things go, but yeah, some stuff to keep an eye on here. Maybe I'll keep this. I think this trend line might be better, to be honest, for bounces. Probably we're not going to go immediately to $6. That would be quite crazy. So maybe even can get a bounce around 1350 and this kind of thing. Of course, the previous low also going to be an important level to see if we can hold on BMNR. But yeah, the outlook not looking very good, not looking pretty at the moment. And I can't really lie about it and say, yeah, now's the time to be bullish. It's just not how it is. There is always more downside possible in these bearish trends. Even if it seems like you might be okay, there's the potential for more downside. With that being said, thank you very much for watching, guys. Macro report tomorrow should be a good one. Stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you haven't already for that. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.